Well, shalom, shalom, everyone. This is Jaina Israel with another Sabbath Day class. We thank you for joining us this week. We look forward to our new lesson. We completed the laws. It took us a while, but we did complete the laws. It was truly a blessing. We learned so much. Now we're going back into what we consider our Supernatural Saturday. Very important, because we have a supernatural class usually on Saturday, and we talk about supernatural things. But we're going to deal with end-time prophecy today. And the reason why we decided to do that today instead of the millennial, which we're going to work our way up to, is because we have to lay the foundation for this. It's very important. There's a lot of things that is going on in the news, and I've come to realize that a lot of people don't know end-time prophecies. They don't really know what to look forward to or what to look out for. So I'm going to start with the one of the issues that we need to look out for in terms of end-time prophecy. So I just wanted to lay that groundwork. Again, if you have any noise, please put your phone on mute. Please don't let everyone talk over each other. Let's be courteous. The class went very well last Shabbat. I enjoyed it. I look forward to us being able to do this again, because this is when people learn. I know we get excited. We're a rowdy bunch of people. We get excited, but we love each other. We do what we need to do to get this information here. So I want to go ahead and start this and go all the way to the beginning. And this is going to be about end-time prophecy. If you cannot see the screen, don't worry about it, because most of the time we're going to be in the Bible. If you want to see the screen for later other classes that we have, you can email us at the Yehudah Project at gmail.com, and Yehudah is spelled Y-E-H-U-D-A-H. But don't worry about it today. You can just follow us along in the scriptures. All right, so this is the beginning of our topic. It's called end-time prophecies. This is very important that we understand what end-time prophecies are. Hold on. Anybody have any questions before we get started? Anybody? Nobody have anything? Okay. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and do this. Here we go.
Oh, Sister Yehudah, can I ask a question?
You mean Yaina?
Oh, I'm sorry, Sister Yaina. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Go ahead. You're fine.
I wanted on the how we're able to go in and access the screens and everything that you show. I tried to email you and it just didn't go through, so I just wanted to find out if I try that again, should I just contact Sister Sanaya, or what process should I go?
Yeah, okay. You can contact Sister Sanaya, and she'll be able to help you to get that done as much as we can, because some people still haven't been able to do it, even with the instructions. And then after they can't do that, then we just encourage them to maybe go to their local library and let them show them how to do it, because sometimes we can walk you through, and sometimes it doesn't work. It just depends on, the level of technical savvy some people are, and some people are just, they have really a hard time. So.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
And do it that way. All right. All right, here we go. All right, Isaiah chapter 42, verse 9. Please write this down. He says, "Behold, the former things have come to pass, and new things I declare. Before they spring forth, I tell you of them." That is so very important, because most I'll tell you one thing, I'm not going to surprise you with nothing. I'm always let you know before they happen.
Right.
You will never get before him and say, "You didn't tell me that." He said, "Yes, I did. I laid it out. Let me read it again. Behold, the former things have come to pass." So they already done come to pass. "And new things I declare." That's what he said. "Before they spring forth, I tell you of them."
Mm-hmm.
Okay? All right, here we go. Isaiah chapter 46, verse 9 through 10. He says, "Remember the former things of old, for I am the Most High, and there is none else. Watch. I am Yah, and there is none like me, declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure. Let me read that again. Ready? Here we go. Remember the former things of old, for I am Yah, and there is none else. This is Isaiah 46, 9 through 10. I am Yah, and there is none like me, declaring the end from the beginning. So that means when he wrote the beginning, he wrote the end. All of it's already completed. So therefore, guess what? He don't have to come back and he doesn't have to prepare anything for the wilderness. It's already there. The pathway has already been made. The way of escape is already there. He said, and from ancient times, the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure. Any questions?
Nope.
Nope? So what does that tell you? We don't have nothing to worry about. Everything is already done. Everybody's in their prospective places. All the nations have been named by Yah. All of the nations have their own gods. All of them are doing exactly what the Most High wants them to do, and his word is not going to come back void no matter who it is.
Yep.
Now let me ask you a question. I'm going to see how much we got in here. How many nations have there been established at the Tower of Babel? Quick, come on, somebody.
70.
70.
70.
How many gods was given at the Tower of Babel?
70.
70. And who was Yah's portion?
Judah.
Israel. So we know that. Out of all the nations that are on this earth, he only chose one people to be his people.
Mm-hmm.
Very important to know. Because the whole world, why you bring this up, Yaina? Because the whole world is looking at Jerusalem right now, and the people that are in Jerusalem professing to be us, and everybody is basing their timeline on those people. But somebody has to have enough sense to say, well, maybe we need to watch them other people and see what's going on with them.
Mm-hmm.
Because nothing is going to happen unless it's done, unless we are the person that we're going to be the initiator of it all. But the whole world has been fooled into believing it's the people over there.
Sure did fool.
All of them, the church, everybody's watching.
Yes.
Everybody's watching Israel. But guess what? They don't understand that not only is Israel land, it's a people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So they got to pay attention to us. Because we're the only thing that moves y'all. That's it.
Amen.
We are the only people that move y'all. So we got to know that in the beginning there were 70 nations, and there were 70 gods associated with each nation, and Israel was the Most High's portion. He chose us to be a people unto himself. He surnamed us and gave us his name because he surnamed Jacob and he changed his name to Israel. All of this is important because it all plays into end-time prophecy. All this is important because all of it plays into end-time prophecy. And Israel is, from what we read today in Daniel chapter 12 and in Jeremiah chapter 30, Israel is going to be in a place of safety when the drama jumps off.
Well, it's jumping off fast. Everything's happening at once.
Yes, yes. Daniel chapter 4, check this out. Daniel chapter 4, verse 17. This is very important. I'm going to put this on a T-shirt. It says, this matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones. Watch what he says. That what? To the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. And guess what he does? He giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth it up over it the basis of men. So, question: did Donald Trump just happen to win the presidency?
No.
No. Did he upset the whole political arena by winning the office of the President of the United States of America?
Yes.
No.
Nope.
No, the Most High know what he's doing. We just got to sit back and let him do what he do, because he is definitely, if you can't see this y'all, you got to be a blind man.
Or living under a rock.
Something is clearly wrong if you can't see this. And people are getting so upset. These people are scared. I mean, for real, I've never seen news commentators scared.
May I add something?
Sure.
Yeah, he doesn't deal in coincidence, and his time is certain. I'm looking at Daniel, and it says Daniel 8:18, and he's talking to Daniel. Now as he was speaking with me, I was in a deep sleep on my face toward the ground, but he touched me, and he set me upright. Daniel 8:19, and he said, Behold, I will make thee know what shall be in the last end of the indignation, for at the time appointed the end shall be. He has an appointed time for everything.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Definitely does. And nothing happens by chance. No one just happens to be there. All of this is set up for such a time as this, because it has to happen. Has to happen. And when you know that, and when that finally sinks in, you can sit back and kick up like, okay, well, when he comes, it's over. Because there's nothing you can do about it. You can't change it. You can't stop it. You can't alter it. You can't do anything. But when you know prophecy, you can just sit back and say, okay, then, next, this is what's going to happen. Either this going to happen next or this going to happen next. And that's why we're doing what we're doing today, because we have to be able to give you some insight on prophecy and the things that they're expecting to happen next. Because a lot of people got their head in the sand. They don't even think about this stuff. They don't even study it. They know nothing about it. Love and hip-hop is the only thing they're concerned about. It's going to be an ugly situation. It really is. Okay, the fourth kingdom. This is so very important. Why is this important, Yaina? Because in order for y'all to come back to the earth, the fourth kingdom has to be in rule. And in order for us to get to the wilderness, the fourth kingdom has to be established. Who is the fourth kingdom?
Rome.
I can't hear you. Rome. It's the revival of the Roman Empire. And this is something that a whole lot of people don't talk about, the revival of the Holy Roman Empire. Let me say that. It's crucial. I'm sorry, somebody was saying something? Go ahead, sis. What was you saying? Oh, I thought somebody was saying something. Okay, here we go. All right, here we go. That great city, Revelation 17:18. And the woman which thou sawest is the great city, is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. So whoever this great city is this great city, it reigns over the whole earth. It's a one world government, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
In order for it to reign over the kings of the earth, it has to be a one world government. Watch. It says the woman is that great city that sits on 7 mountains. All right, here we go. It says the city of 7 hills. The great city of Rome, located in Italy, has been long known as the city of 7 hills, or the city of 7 hills. An excerpt from A Woman Rides the Beast by David Hunt. Watch. 2,000 years. Only one city has for more than 2,000 years been known as a city on 7 hills, and that city is Rome. Has never changed its name. Been the same all along. The different countries have changed their name. Somebody tell me a new name for Babylon. What is Babylon called now?
United States.
Nope. Well, not Mystery Babylon. Babylon, the real one. Iraq. What's the new name for Persia?
Iran.
And what's another name for Russia?
Magog.
The Medes. So everybody has been changing their name, and then this is the big $1 million question, which I know some of you may not know, but what's the new name for old Constantinople?
Germany?
Rome?
Old Constantinople.
Is it Rome?
Turkey?
No.
Is it Turkey? No?
Nope.
Great Britain?
No, Brother Donia, no. Come on, Brother Donia. What's the new name for old Constantinople? It's Budapest.
China.
Budapest is old Constantinople. All of this has to do with Rome. City of Rome. Watch, it says the Vatican. The Catholic Encyclopedia states, it is within the city of Rome, called City of Seven Hills, that the entire area of the Vatican state proper is now confined. 7 hills of Rome. It says the following list includes the name of 7 mountains known as the 7 hills of Rome. You got Palatine, Capitoline, Aventine, I guess that's Caelius, Esquiline, Vimino, and Quirinal. Ruled the known world. It says 5 empires ruled the known world in succession before John the Apostle wrote his book of Revelations. It says the empire of Egypt, Assyria, the Mede and Persians, the Greece, each ruled the known world. The Roman Empire ruled in John's day. It says in John's day, Rome, John's vision occurred in the 1st century when Rome still ruled the known world, and the 7th is yet to come. Anybody have any questions? It says all humanity, the revived Roman Empire in the last days, this resurrected Roman Empire will rule all of humanity. Its reign will be brief, but it will be like no other kingdom before it. It will be part of a satanic trinity of Satan, the Antichrist, and beast.
You think that might be part of the United States?
Say again?
Do you think that might be the United States?
No.
Okay.
It won't have anything to do with the United States of America at all. This thing is over, sis. This is over with. That's why I say if you can't see what President Trump is doing right now, you would have to be literally blind. He is taking this all the way down.
Yeah. And he's only in office, what, a year and a half? A little over?
They said, 500 days? 500 days. He's done all this in 500 days. Critical. Say again?
I said they can't touch him. They can't stop him.
No, because y'all got him in control. We just read that. You can't do anything to him. You're not going to let him.
Wow.
And in that many days, it has gone down so quickly.
Oh, yes.
It has, you're talking about a government that's been around for years, and this man has taken it down in 500 days. It's
500 days. 500 days. Yeah, 500 days.
Please announce yourself.
And there's nothing you can do about it. And whoever it was that just called in, please put your phone on mute. There's a great echo that comes with it. Please mute your phone. Thank you. Yeah, 500 days. It's over with. He has taken it to a point where he's really taken it to the point of no return.
Yeah.
I heard one of the senators on Friday. He said, people are concerned. He said the Republicans are finally speaking up now. They're concerned about his mental state, because he's showing signs that he has serious mental issues. He said the narcissism and the impulsiveness and it's just not the characteristics for the President of the United States of America, and people are beginning to be concerned, with the racism and just all of it. He said it's really unnerving. People are watching his behavior and it's just unnerving. And I'm like, yeah, well, you picked him. Y'all picked him. I mean, for real. He's doing what the Most High want him to do. Any question? Anybody else? It's crucial.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What were the scriptures I got? Revelation 17:18. What was the other? I think I missed the other three.
Are you late?
Yes, kind of.
Oh, I'm going to have to give them to you in a little bit. Sister Zanaya, can you put them in the chat for her so she can see the chat?
Well, I'm not in the chat. Can I just ask for it via email? I'm actually looking for this over the phone. Sorry.
Yeah. Just send me an email and I'll give them to you. Because I know it was Daniel chapter 12, 1 and 3. Daniel chapter Revelation 17. I think that's it.
Oh, okay. Isaiah 42.
And Isaiah 42.
And
Isaiah 46.
I'll put it in the chat.
Okay.
She can't see the chat.
Oh,
I'll email.
Okay, that'll work. Thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, so those are the things that we are watching right now. Okay, so now we're going to go to the Benelux Agreement. It says the first step toward the formation of a European superstate was the Benelux Agreement on June the 8th of 1948. This was a treaty between three small countries. We had Belgium, the Netherlands, and Luxembourg. Those three countries. It said several years later in 1957, in the city of Rome, with a document called the Treaty of Rome, those three countries joined with three other countries, Italy, France, and Germany, to make the EEC, or the European Economic Community, which was called the Common Market for many years. Today, the organization is known as the EU, the European Union. Now, you're going to hear a whole lot about the EU here in a minute on television. That's all they're going to be talking about. The EU is doing this, and the EU is doing that, and the EU is doing this, and that, and the other. Why? Because they are the ones that is getting together to formulate the revival of the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire, which is the fourth beast in the book of Daniel, has to come into play before we leave. So this has to happen pretty fast. And as far as I'm concerned, it's happening at rapid speed. All right, here we go, the European Union. It says in 1973, the United Kingdom joined the EU, along with Ireland and Denmark, making a total of 9 nations. In 1981, Greece became a member of the Union. It says 28 members. There are now 28 member states in the Union. The success of this European merger is a further impetus to global unity. They're coming together to put together a world government. And everybody is saying, well, Yaina, that can't be true because we're only supposed to have 10 kings. And if it's 28 members, how do we have 10 kings? We're going to get to that. Brexit. It says, however, Britain is in the process of a formal Brexit at this time, effective March of 2019. Any questions? Anybody have any questions, comments?
No, I
was going to say, go ahead.
So are you saying this is about to come into effect or is into effect? Because
say again? I can't hear you. You sound real low.
Okay. I said, is this about to come into effect? Because I saw something on the news about 2 weeks ago talking about Brexit. I didn't even know what it was. But it's Brexit, I think, something like
that. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Brexit is here already. It's already been here. Britain is just leaving the EU. So they are moving themselves out of it. There won't be a part of it anymore. But we still have plenty of nations that are joining and that will continue to join, because this is how the revival of the Roman Empire is going to happen, politically, economically, socially, and religiously. Because not only are they going to have a one-world government, but they're going to have a one-world religion. Can you see it now forming? If you have the revival of the Roman Empire, of the Holy Roman Empire, that covers the political part of it, that covers the religion part of it, and the economic part of it, and the social part of it. Say again?
Do you think that the countries that have gotten out of it, Brexit has allowed to get out of it, those are the 10 countries? Because England, to me, or United Kingdom, that's a big part. So I think the countries that have gotten out, England trying to get out, those 10 countries may form that 10 nation that was originally the originals, I should say.
Well, without going all the way through my lesson, I will share this. It's not going to be more or less a 10 nation. It's going to be 10 regions. They're separated into 10 regions. And in each region, there's going to be a president or a king, because the whole world is going to be involved in this and be a part of this. So there's going to be 10 regions, not necessarily just 10 nations in the EU, but 10 regions. So they're going to separate the world by regions, by sections, and then the countries that are in those sections will have a leader to each one of those sections, and that's how that 10 king is going to come about. That's in the book of Daniel.
Yeah, because that's what I was going to ask. Is Britain going to be taking any other countries with it, or no?
Not as far as I know that they're not, but but I think that what's going to end up happening, if they let them leave, it's going to be very interesting. We just have to watch it and see, because there's going to be so much going on according to the scriptures.
Okay.
Now, this is supposed to happen March of 2019. We'll see. We'll see. Anybody else?
One other thing, Sister Yaina. What about so since we know that part, is that considered the beast, or am I jumping the gun? With this.
Well, that's who they're going to get their power from, the beast.
Right. Okay.
Yes, they're going to get their power from the beast to be able to do whatever they want to do. Because who is the god of this world right now?
Satan.
Satan is. He's the god of this world.
Right.
So he's going to give them the power to be able to rule the world.
Okay. Because did it say the beast would take a hit to the head?
We're getting there. We're on our way there.
I'm sorry.
But yes. No, you're fine. That's exactly what he's doing. He's going to give them power to be able to rule the whole world in 10 sections, in 10 regions.
Exactly.
So guess what Israel has to be at when this happens?
We have to be in the wilderness.
We better be on our way if we ain't already there.
Yeah. Well, the reason why I asked that, too, is because it said it would take a hit to the head. And remember all the priests that have gone on, that were accused of all the things that they did, with the kids and everything, would that be part of it considered?
We don't know. We don't know that. Nobody knows exactly what it means in terms of a wound to the head, and then he's going to resurrect himself. We have to just wait and see, because, I have to let me get to that part first, because I want to walk my way down through there so that we can kind of lay the groundwork. Because, some people consider it to be a man. Some people consider it to be a system. So we'll just see what the Scripture's saying. We can go from there. Okay, so here's the plan. This is the emblem of the EU. It's a blue flag, and it has the stars around it. Let me see. We got 1, 2, 3. It has 12 stars. That's it. 50 states. It says, under the heading, the Roman Empire returns, it says the EU will be renamed the Union once it grows to 50 states over the next 3 decades. It says Gibraltar, the United Nations headquarters, will be moved to Gibraltar. Sorry about that. As the EU defends the international order against the American onslaught. So it seems that the leaders of the EU have been planning for some time to overtake the United States as the leading world power. Look at that. And I believe that that's what's going on with President Trump. He's playing into their hands. And he has white America thinking we're going to make America great again. He's separating himself from all the other nations, but at the same time leaving us vulnerable. Do you know that they said the first time in years that the United States is no longer in Korea or getting ready to leave Korea? I'm like, wow.
That's something he suggested. I don't know if it's happening yet.
Oh, it's happening.
And not only that, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'll pull up the article for you. They said that it's happening. They're starting to shut everything down, yes.
What?
Well, and the Congress didn't even realize that's exactly what he was doing. But if you didn't notice, a couple of days ago, they showed satellite images of Kim Jong-un still mining and looking for stuff to make nuclear weapons with.
Yeah. All was a joke. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I told you they were talking about how competent or incompetent they think he is mentally, because he doesn't understand the process of what it means to run a country. And one thing I've always told you is that man is not stupid. I don't care what nobody say. He can play the role for somebody else, but I ain't buying it.
Right.
Sorry.
There's a question in the chat asking, is Trump aware of what he is doing, or is he being led by the Most High?
I'm going to ask the whole class. Do you think President Trump know what he's doing?
No.
Yes and no.
Yes.
I think the Most High got him by the nose.
Well, I think he knows he has to tear it down. I think he knows that much.
I think the Most High is in control.
I think
the Most High is using him like he used Pharaoh, knowing how stubborn he is.
Yeah.
And he thinks he's doing what he wants to do, but he's really doing what the Most High wants him to do.
Yeah,
right. Because he's looking at something else.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And it's always a plot twist in it.
Mm-hmm. The Almighty is orchestrating all of this. This has to go. This has to be torn down. Who better could they get than an arrogant person like Trump?
Well, we just read, what was that, Isaiah 46, 9 and 10. He said he will do his own pleasures.
Mm-hmm.
So Yah's in control of it all.
He's in control of it all. Nothing happened. And that the living, to the intent that the living may know. Daniel chapter 4, verse 17, that the Most High rules in the kingdom of men.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing gets by him. There's nothing that happens by chance. There's no oops in this thing here. It's already been, he wrote the end from the beginning. So everybody has a part to play, and he's playing his part. And I think he's playing the doggone pretty good.
Oh, yeah. Yes, he is. Yes.
He really is.
Yeah. Good job, Trump.
I mean, for real. When you look at it, he got the whole country scared to death. And I think people are terrified. When you see these newscasters, they look terrified on their face. Like, get him. Can somebody please get him? It ain't going to be no country left.
But here's the thing. I was reading this morning. I was trying to figure out what's going on. I still don't have everything together. But back when President Clinton was in office, he signed some agreements with China where they were supposed to protect the intellectual property of the United States. And signed those agreements, but China actually did not really abide by the agreements. So a lot of our property has gone to China with no compensation to the United States. And China has this policy. They say they want to be a dominant power by 2050. Now, I'm sitting here looking at Bloomberg, and it's something under geopolitical war in this article. It says, if mismanaged, the China-U.S. trade war is fully and it's upgraded, it could expand into a financial war, an economic war, a resource war, and a geopolitical war. So but here's the thing. It says the U.S. will use its hegemonic system established since World War II for trade. Right now what's happening with trade is we've been isolated. Everybody's trying to figure out how to get everything around us. So China has started planting soybeans. We were shipping a lot of soybeans to them. I think maybe they got 6 to 8% of their soybeans from us, if I remember correctly. So now they're trying to go to other countries to get the soybeans, and they're planting their own. So when we come back and say, we'll sell you soybeans, they say, we don't need your soybeans. We already have another. Same with England. England and the European countries are being impacted because when the costs go up in China, their bottom line is being affected, so it's costing them more. They're saying, we're trying to hang in here, but we don't know if we can really survive the fight between the United States and China. Yeah. China said, we want to be a world power. So what they're doing is, I was reading, they have the second largest economy, they have the largest military in the world, and they have the yuan, which people are going to instead of the dollar. So it says, what we're going to do is we're going to come on trade. Well, we're isolating ourselves, so everybody's trying to determine how they can trade around us so that when we come back, they won't need us. Finance, they're not depending on us. We have this fiat currency. It's not backed by gold. Our currency, the petrodollar, is being abandoned, so we're not going to be able to use that, and we do not have the largest military. These are all the things the United States is going to rely on. So when it comes down to a fight between us, and then both of them are posturing, they said, President Trump is really trying to rule from a position of strength, and he doesn't have a whole lot of options. And part of what he's doing, he's really trying to work in terms of policy that's already been put in place by previous administrations.
From a businessman's perspective, not from the President of the United States. And that's where the problem comes. Do you know gas is $3 a gallon here?
It was $3 when I got some last.
It is $3. One place it was $3. One place it was $2.95, and one place it was $2.89 a gallon. So yes, all those things that you're saying, sis, is absolutely correct. But again, the Most High has him in position to do all these things.
That's right. But the thing is, in time, we are looking right now. We're looking to Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia said it's going to increase its oil production by was it 2 million barrels? I can't remember. To supplement what the United States is not getting from other places. That's if we can continue to rely on Saudi Arabia. We can't rely on any of the other countries.
Look at what he just did with the Muslims. Supreme Court just ruled that he can decide who's a terrorist and who's not. And he can keep the travel ban on for all of the Muslims. He doesn't have to let any Muslims into this country if he doesn't want to.
I'm smiling because all he's doing is just cutting off all avenues.
Right. All you can say is rain, y'all, rain. Y'all is, you know what he said right before your eyes, didn't he? Mm-hmm. And everybody is sitting on the edge of their seat like, wow. This can't be happening. My mother and my sister get so upset like this cannot be happening. And it's like it's happening right before your eyes.
And there's the other thing. I was saying, when does this happen? These trade sanctions go into effect on July the 6th.
We in trouble. It's over.
Yeah. It hasn't hit yet.
When it do?
Okay. And I was just reading that China stopped accepting our recycles. When the recycle guys come and pick up your recyclables, they take them to the companies ship them out to China, and then China gives us money, and then they make stuff with them. But now they said China hasn't accepted any recyclables in over a year. So when the recycle guy comes to get your stuff, it's just being dumped in a landfill city. And the companies were saying they have lost millions because that agreement we had in China, they've already stopped that a year ago. So eventually, all that recycle bin and separating your recycles, that's getting ready to be over because they don't have anything to do with it. They're not doing anything. They haven't done anything with it in over a year. It's sitting in a landfill.
All right, let's keep going. Hold on. I don't want to get stopped here because, I mean, it's something where you really, that's why I said we have to know. And guess what? For you all who are new to this, it is not to make you afraid. This is when we rejoice. We get excited because it means that we're on our way out of here and we're on our way back to the wilderness. But we have to see it. He said you're going to see the judgment of that nation. And that's what we're watching.
I'm excited.
We are watching it.
I'm excited.
Yeah. You know, it's like, wow. You know, some people are nervous. Some people are excited. Some people can't believe it. Some people are in a state of shock. They just cannot believe that it could have went this fast, this soon. It's just gone down. And everybody is scared to speak against this man.
May I add one more thing that struck me when I was reading this morning?
Go ahead.
In terms of our exports, it says China exports $2.3 trillion more in dollars to us them. That is the deficit. When this stuff was put in place during the Clinton administration and around that time, it was supposed to reduce the deficit. What actually happened is that people took that intellectual property that was supposed to be protected. It wasn't protected. It went over to China. Then people switched the manufacturing to China. So now we don't have a manufacturing base, and we have a deficit that is way in excess of anything anybody ever imagined it to be. $2.4 billion deficit.
Crucial. Yeah, because I read that. They said that people were going over to China because the labor was cheaper, and they would go over and they would apply for licensings to do certain things. But China would actually take their inventions and start making them themselves.
That's right.
And so the people that had that's what she means when she says protecting intellectual property, that the things that were supposed to be patented and that were supposed to be protected, China stole the inventions and started creating this stuff on their own. And really what they did was they produced to the point where they cut out the person that came over from the United States. He wasn't able to produce his product because China was already doing it.
Wow.
And it sold it cheaper. China sold it cheaper.
And sold it cheaper.
Hey, family, this is Sister Couture.
Yes.
We don't realize how much China is in our lives. I went to get some salmon. I happened to read the label. It said the salmon was caught in the U.S., but it was processed in China.
Mm-hmm.
I put it back.
I told you all that a long time ago.
How do you do that?
About the chicken. They send the chicken here and send it to China, and China sends it back to America after they process it.
And then
I believe that. I was in Walmart and I was asking them for the bananas because they were I guess they were outdated. Well, I used to like them when they were very brown because they were sweeter, and I used to make the fruit juice, the smoothies. And I was like, well, can I have those? And you just mark them down because that's what Kroger's usually does. He was like, we're not allowed to do that. This food comes from China, and when we finish with it, we have to toss it.
I believe that.
That's what the manager told me. I was like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here we go back to the screen. It says it was decided that Brexit was just the catalyst needed to proceed with these grandiose plans. It says major prophecies in Daniel chapter 2 and 7 indicates that the Holy Roman Empire will be the dominant force. 2,500 years ago, Daniel saw the Roman Empire revive from the dead in the end times. It says Vladimir Putin. It says evidently U.S. sanctions on Russia, Iran, and North Korea are working. Vladimir Putin had his way with the world for 8 years. Watch what it says. And now he and the weak Russia economy are feeling the pinch by a U.S. president who is supposedly in collusion with the Soviet state. It says the larger point here is just how badly the nations want global control. Putin stressed that there is a need for transparent, universal rules as well as an inclusive mechanism which will allow those rules to be amended in a way that would be accepted by the international community. That everybody is feeling the. Let me tell y'all something. They are starting to lay off now. I work for a banking institution. They laying people off right now, sending people home. And we just went through it in January where business was so good that they gave everybody a bonus. 6 months later, they sending people home. It's getting ready to get so bad that we're going to have some sort of a system in place. Watch, here we go. Watch what we got here. It says, the EU is also looking for a single president to steer the ship. But from where will such a leader arise? Here go this man. You better stop. You better stop. I'm on my way there. Believe me. Say again?
Open the door.
That's right. Watch. You better come on here. Hold on. It says the Middle East. Rome once controlled not only Europe, but parts of the Middle East, leaving a great area from where the final world ruler would come from. So this is all of the places, all this stuff in red is the places where Rome ruled. All this. Syria, Assyria, Mesopotamia, Armenia, Lycia, Asia, Galatia, Arabia, all the Africa, all these countries are starting to line up. And then I thought about Brother Kevin and all the stuff that the United Nations is trying to do. They're trying to get everybody back to the region or where they originated from, supposedly, so that this Roman Empire can revive itself. So I get no doubt that they're trying to lure us back to Africa. No question.
Is Syria and Assyria the same place now?
Well, they have them two places. Here's Assyria and here's Syria.
Okay, so they're two different places.
From what I see. I mean, I can check it out. I'll check that out when we finish.
Well, what? Some of them are from Ashur, I guess that's Shem's son, and some of them settled in Syria, and some of them settled in Babylon.
Right.
Yeah, Assyria, like where the in Chronicles and Kings that enslaved us, that's in the same place roughly where Babylon was. They just took over when the Nebuchadnezzar took over from the Assyrians. But it's the same place. They just overthrew them.
Okay. All right, here we go. It says, now this is another article. Everything has gone wrong. Soros warns major financial crisis is coming. It says, in a speech delivered Tuesday in Paris, billionaire investor George Soros warned that the world could be on the brink of another devastating financial crisis as debt crisis reemerges in Europe and a strengthening dollar pressures both the U.S. emerging and developed markets rival. And says, and Europe with Italy dragging worries about the possible dissolution of the euro back to the forefront won't be far behind. Political pressures like the dissolution of its transatlantic alliance with the U.S. will eventually translate into economic harm. Presently, Europe is facing three pressing problems. 10 kings or 10 presidents or 10 kings. The kingdom will be divided into 10 divisions, each with a president, followed by the rise of the 11th king, who will suffer a head wound that will make the world think he died, but he will make a false resurrection. That's what you was talking about, sis, in Revelation 13:3.
Exactly.
Watch. It says, before any of that happens, financially weak EU nations like Italy will likely go through another series of loans and central bank bailouts like the Greek debt crisis of 2009 through 2016. How the global financial crisis will produce Europe's 10 kings. Watch what it says. It says, for decades, people in Europe have tried to forge a cohesive political union. To that end, they have created the present loosely hinged 28-nation European Union. Yet Revelation 17 says there are going to be 10 kings there that will unite politically and form a real superpower, a modern-day Holy Roman Empire, a German leader. Biblical prophecies also reveal that this European superpower will be led by a strong German leader who will eventually hijack the European Union. Guess who? This is all Martin Straub, this 1616, Margrethe Schauberg. All of these are lineages of Roman people. Yes, who? The Black German. I first became interested in Barack Obama's ancestry when I accidentally stumbled on the genealogy of him compiled by William Adam Rice-Weiser as I was Googling the Stroop. Watch, I made this discovery back when he was still a senator around the time he gave his stirring speech at the 2004 Democratic National Convention, during which I thought to myself, I am looking at America's first black president. If I was pleased then to be his cousin, well, when he became the 2008 Democratic presidential candidate, hobby genealogists in general became interested in his ancestry. And once he was elected president, interest skyrocketed. It especially skyrocketed among that special breed, that medieval genealogists, because, as it turns out, Obama has fabulous European ancestry through his mother, as the perusal of Rice-Weiser's webpage will attest. Obama has hooked into the European nobility, and as the usual result of which he has many royals in his pedigree, such as Henry II, Edward I, William I, the Conqueror, etc., up to and including Charlemagne, to be named a few. I shared much of this ancestry with him, but on different lines, not our Straub line, as to do tens of millions of Europeans and European Americans, including nobles. So not only is he's a part of the royal family, but he's a part of the European aristocracy, and he's a part of the giants, because Charlemagne was 15 feet tall.
I was just going to say, now that was a black man, because you remember when you looked up Black Britain and you was going to the picture? Charlemagne was on that page.
Yes!
Wow.
Yes! Hold on. For example, Barack is cousin to President James Madison, President Jimmy Carter, President Harry Truman, Winston Churchill, Colonel Robert E. Lee, Ernest Hemingway, and etc. Any question? and he gets his German ancestry from his mother.
Wow. I heard he's related to Bush, too.
Say again? Say again?
He's related to Bush.
I know.
About that. I wonder if he's related to, what's his name?
Okay, somebody's outside, and I can hear the noise. Can you please put your phone on mute? Thank you. Now, who's saying something now?
I said I was wondering if he's some kin to Trump, because Trump is German.
I know. Hey, look, I live in a German town. CINCINNATI is German.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm done. All right.
Yeah.
So now we know that we can't be a part of the ruling class unless we're a part of them, right?
Yeah.
Trump not German.
Wow.
You know?
He's not German?
They're by accident.
No, isn't he from Norway?
No, he's German.
German. Yeah, and his wife is Russian.
Who is this?
That's Melania?
Oh.
I didn't know she was Russian.
She's from Slovenia. I guess that's Russia, too. But
Yeah.
all his
The Russian territory.
Wow. Wow. All I can say is wow. So what better person to step up? They say they're looking for a super president. He can't be president to the United States anymore. He'll step right into place as the leader of the EU.
Barack Obama.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. And didn't you say, Sister Yaina, that they weren't going to believe anyone that was a white guy? It would have to be a black guy because we would.
Right. So he would be considered the man of perdition, and then Rome. This is still Rome now. You got to keep Rome, because all this is Rome. The EU is Rome. All this is Rome. Revival of the Roman Empire. Revival of the Holy Roman Empire, and then the religious leader would be who?
Pope.
Who would that be?
The Black Pope.
But what's his name?
Peter.
Oh, y'all. I mean, somebody knows it.
Peter Turkson. Peter Turkson.
Turkson.
There you go.
So there you have your two leaders right there, ready to step into position.
Who? Peter who? Turkson.
Yeah. Well, how could Barack Obama go from the United States? Oh, through the UN.
Yeah. He can go over there in the EU and become, he's already German. Right. He doesn't have to be, he's already German. That's a part of his ancestry.
And those European countries love him.
Sure do.
Oh, yes, they do. That's true.
Shalom. Shalom.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Can you, you talked about him being part of the Nephilim?
If he is a descendant or he is connected with Charlemagne, yes.
Okay, do me a favor and pull up the portrait of Barack Obama, the president portrait.
Okay, I will. After this, I'm going to definitely do that. I have to stop my screen and all that, but I will definitely do it.
And what I want you to look at is his hands.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, look at his hands. You got 6 fingers there.
They're huge.
Say that again?
Right.
Look at his hands.
What's wrong with his hands?
You got 6 fingers.
Oh. Right. They counted. On that picture, it looks like he's got 6 fingers from the artist drawing or the artist rendition of he and his wife that's in D.C. right now.
Wow.
Where is this? Could you repeat that?
The 2 pictures that they drew of Michelle and Barack, that's in, I guess it's in the Smithsonian. Well, on the picture with Obama, he's got his hands kind of folded, and everybody's like, is that 6 fingers that is on there? And it looks like it, but, you know, of course, the artist says no, but if you count them, it's 6 fingers.
Not only that, I think in prophecy, Daniel, it talks about this king, how he goes back to the glorious land, and then he returns. And right now, I think Africa is expecting Obama to come back in Kenya in June sometime to open up a clinic or something for boys.
But that's not the same. That's not the same. But he's supposed to be going back. See, this is all a part of the Roman Empire. Don't separate him from the Roman Empire, because all of this has to do with Rome. Rome is going to go back to the Middle East. Rome is going to go back to the Holy Mountain, and that's where they're going to set up all of their stuff right there at the base of the mountain. In between the 2 mountains is where he's going to create his palace at. So everything is going to shift to the Middle East, because this is not going to be a viable superpower. We just read earlier where their goal in the EU is to bring this down.
Oh. There's 2 points I want to make. 2 points I want to make. Number 1, the 10 kingdoms have already been made. I sent you an email for you to look at. The earth has already been divided into 10 kingdoms.
Right.
That was done after World War II.
Right.
And the other point to make is to look at the prophecy of Ezra, 2nd Ezra, chapter 10 and 11, and that will give you more insight on this 4th beast.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be very interesting, and we're moving toward that.
Sister Aina,
yes, ma'am.
Where did you say earlier in the presentation that the UN was going to eventually move to?
I said what now?
The UN was going to move.
Oh, yeah, the UN was going to move to Gibraltar.
Is that Turkey? Is that Turkey? Because they're supposed to move to Turkey.
Okay.
Yes, everything's going toward that area. The Mediterranean, everything's moving. Everything is going to be focused there. And why do you think that is? Because we're going there. Everything has to turn their focus to the Middle East because we're going to be in that area. Everything is focused on Israel, and it's not the people Israel. It's us. Because they are really getting ready and prepared to fight against the Most High.
You're going to have to keep your eye on Turkey because Turkey is a big player. The EU was having a lot of problems.
I ain't got there yet, sis. Hold on.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm going there. Trust me, I'm going there. It's just so much I have to give it in sections. That's why I didn't jump right to the Middle East to the millennium, because you have to understand what to look for as this thing starts to form itself. All of it is getting prepared for the last day, and Rome has to be Rome has to be the superpower before we leave, before we go do what we need to do. The man of perdition has to reveal himself before we leave.
So the man of perdition is the guy that's going to become the Pope?
No, the man of perdition is going to be the one that's going to rule the EU.
Okay, all right.
The Pope is going to be the one who rules the religion. And they're going to do this together. And it's going to be a one-world religion. It's going to be a one-world government, and it's going to be a one-world religion.
Well, you see, now it's all making sense because in the past few weeks, with all the things going on with the kids being separated from their parents, on the news they've been saying, well, what's happened to Obama? Why isn't he saying something? So it just makes you wonder if this going down promotes Rome going up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Revival, this is the 7th time and the last time that Rome will try to revive itself, and it will succeed this time because it has to be in play. Daniel told it was going to be the 4th beast, according to the statue that took place in Daniel chapter 2. And the first, the head of gold was Babylon, and the arms and the breast of silver was the Medes and the Persians, and the waist was Greece. And the 4th beast, which was a leg of iron, the 2 legs of iron, was Rome. And they said it's going to be east and west and north and south of that whole area. So it's going to encompass everybody. Wow. And now you can see where the scripture says every man will go back to his own country. You can see that.
So does that mean that America is already destroyed at this point? Or
well, I mean, according to what they saying it is, they like, man, we are at our weakest. I've heard so many senators say we are at our weakest point. We have never been more vulnerable than we are right now. You know, because guess what? He's cutting trade with all these countries. Yeah. He's forbidden, you know, all kind of stuff coming and going out of the United States. He's cutting back on military presence over in Korea. You know, I mean, just things that normal presidents wouldn't do if they were trying to make this country great again. It just wouldn't. He's leaving us vulnerable, but it's the Most High's doing. It's not him.
I got a question.
Yes.
Can somebody name a country in our time or a long time ago, let's just say in the last 2 centuries, that was totally destroyed?
Egypt? Oh, sorry, not this century. Sorry.
Let's just say from... No, I'm talking about in our lifetime.
No, I can't. Not totally destroyed.
You mean Greece?
Vietnam.
Okay, so... Huh?
Vietnam.
Does Vietnam still exist today?
Yes, it does.
Iraq.
Okay, so the reason why I asked that question is when we look at the word destroy, we've been taught to be totally to totally disappear, to go away. But destroyed just simply means either conquered or subdued or economically ruined.
That's correct. Absolutely correct.
So when we're looking at the scriptures and we see in destroyed, we can't look at it as in totally annihilated by nuclear bombs. We have to look at it meaning either economically destroyed or not as powerful as they were before.
Exactly.
Brother Kevin, doesn't it say in the scriptures that Mystery Babylon will be uninhabitable? So no man will be able to live there once?
No, he's talking about Edom's land.
Well, that's in Revelation. That's talking about at some point in the end. That's what that's talking about in Revelation.
What country?
Yeah.
But the point I'm trying to make is I'm talking about before that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about the point I'm trying to make is the fact that when it comes to being destroyed, it's really talking about not being powerful or being a ruler like it used to be.
Yeah,
right.
And that's what's coming for the United States.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to be destroyed as in the nation just totally going away, ground to powder. They're just not going to be the economic power that it used to be. That's part of their punishment. So in order for that to happen, in order for them to come, the scripture says, those who enslaved you will go into captivity.
Mm-hmm.
And it says specifically to Judah. And it says in Isaiah 60, those that enslave you will come bowing at your feet. So in order for that to happen, these people still have to remain.
Right, exactly. And what better way to break a will than to break the privilege and you know, and the ability to be able to consume whatever we want. I mean, because when you look at us as a nation, we are really sitting in a very dangerous place because we have been overly spoiled. Anything we want, we were able to have it. Any kind of image we wanted to present, we were able to do it. With the credit system and stuff, you could buy whatever you wanted. People who didn't make but $30,000 or $40,000 a year could have a $25,000, $35,000 credit card and could buy anything they wanted to present whatever image they wanted to buy, even though financially they couldn't afford that. And we have been consuming and consuming and consuming, and when you didn't give it to us, we took it. And we kept consuming and consuming and consuming until the point where it's like, now it's over with. They're like, okay, you don't want to trade with us? Fine, we'll find somebody else to trade with. But we're going to do you the same way. We're not sending you none either. We're going to let you feel the pain just like we are. And it's going to get very interesting because these people are panicking.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Why do you suppose his supporters, don't see any of this?
I'm sure they do. They do, Sister Sanaya. They are. I told you, the man was like, there's many Republicans that are coming out saying that we really need to investigate the mental stability of the President of the United States, and it's really getting really serious here, and this and that and the other. But still, it has to still happen, even if they see it. It has to happen because the Most High said it was going to happen.
She's probably talking about the supporters at the rallies. Wait till they get hungry. They'll change their mind.
And guess what they said about immigration? You don't want your kids stole? Don't come over here. It's like, you can't be.
A lot of people don't know what's happening outside of this country. But, I was reading. I like to read a lot, too. And it took me a bit to try and get my mind around kind of what was going on. But I have something that I want to add. I was reading this morning, and someone made a comment, and I thought, how striking, because he was saying, and this was regarding reparations. We were talking about, what's going to happen when we leave here. He was saying that reparations can only be paid to a nation. And I thought, wow. And I want to research that to see if actually that's factual. But if it's factual, what that means is that we're not going to get anything while we're here, and we won't get anything if we just leave. But in order for us to get what Yah says we're going to get, we will have to be recognized as a nation.
We will.
And where we are recognized as a nation, then all of those countries that have taken us into bondage, they will have to pay back into that nation, and that's how we will be established. And I thought, I understand that.
Exactly, we will, and we definitely will.
So it's not not community groups. It's nothing like that. We will be a nation, and that's why it's so important that we understand that we are a people, that we are a nation.
So we will have to go back to the wilderness, right?
Say again?
We will have to go back to the wilderness?
Yes, ma'am. That's where we headed. That's the place of safety. That's where he has prepared a place of safety for us, those that get it, because everybody's not going to go. Everybody's not going to be mentally ready to do that. Some people are going to stay behind waiting on the Lord to deliver. You know, some people, I'm going to wait on the Lord. He never left me before. He ain't going to never leave me. You know how they do it. And they're going to miss it. And not to say that they won't make the next journey, but it's going to be holy hell to get there. I'm telling you, it's not going to be nothing nice. Why look, if you leave.
Well, that's just like during the time of the Romans when they invaded Jerusalem in 70 A.D.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, Yeshua, he gave a warning to the disciples that this was going to happen.
Yeah.
And he told them to leave. Some left, but the others stayed there, and that's how they were destroyed.
And you know, they said that they crucified up to 700 Israelites a day. In order for them to do that, we had to be a large people. And it's a lot of us now, but we are only a fraction or a remnant of those we're a remnant of those that were left. We're the ones that's left over. All the rest of them is gone. So in order for us to understand that this is what the Scripture says is going to happen, this is what's going to happen, we have to be able to stay prayerful. We have to stay in the Word. Now, everybody on the phone don't agree with everything we say. Everybody on the phone is not Messianic or non-Messianic. But one thing we do all agree on is our next prophetic journey is the wilderness. Mm-hmm. Everybody can agree to that. You know? And once we get there, then it's going to be some changes and some things solidified and confirmed and all of that. But we got to get there. We definitely have to get there.
Yeah, I want to go back to. Oh, go ahead. Never mind.
Oh, go ahead, Brother Kevin.
No, I was just going to say I wanted to go back to something that the sister said earlier about reparations being to a nation. You know, when you look at us coming out of Egypt, before we came out of Egypt, we weren't a nation, quote unquote. We got reparations. And we're coming out of a slavery then in Egypt. And then when you look at the Babylonian and the Persian captivity, we were coming out of slavery then, and we got reparations. And so what I'm saying is, according to the prophecy that the Lord told Abraham, that when we come out of this nation, and all the nations that we're captives in, we're going to get reparations, because it has nothing to do with us being a nation. It has to do with the atrocities that was done to us. It's recompense for what was done to us. So when you keep it in context, you have to understand that technically we are a nation. Even though we've been destroyed, we're still a nation.
That's true.
You see what I'm saying? So just like when we came out of Egypt, we got reparations. When we came out of Babylon and Persia, we got reparations. When we leave here, and all the islands and everywhere else that we're getting reparations. It's just a matter of time.
I agree.
And
yes, well, I 100% approve. I agree.
And that will be a true miracle.
Well, that's what he specializes in.
That's right.
We dealing with an Elohim that specializes in true miracles.
See, that's 18.
Hallelujah.
You know, he does. We
Isn't
just
that what the 18
seen
says?
him show out yet.
The 18 said they specialize in the how they say it? We specialize in the unorthodox or the unexpected or something like that. Mm-hmm. That's what he does.
He does. He specializes in miracles. We're going to see some real stuff happen. Just let's get through this, and then we're going to get into the signs of the end times, because that's coming next. So we know we have to be able to see certain signs that's going to happen in the sky everywhere. We get ready to hit that too, so we know, because we want people to be equipped as to what's getting ready to happen so they understand. And when you see this in the news and they start bringing up the EU and the European Union, and they're starting to come together, and other nations are joining them, and nations are falling off, and this is what the European Union is doing, you'll know that that's Rome reviving itself. Because Rome has to be in place. And if we got 14 months before this, we have completed our sentence with the Most High, you know they putting it up to super speed. This man done did this in 500 days. Yes, 500 days. No, with impunity. He don't even have no emotion. He's like, no, that's not, we're going to do it this way. And he's doing it. And he just is calm and collect because the Most High has him in place.
Yes, can I add something that you were just saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yeah, I mean, he is so amazing because, like I said, he does work miracles. And, you know, the thing that the Most High, he just wait and let us run ourselves to the end.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we can't take no more. And he just sit around and wait because he know already, like you said, from the beginning to the very end what's going to happen. Everything has already been set into place. So he let us wear ourselves out and do all we want to do. And he wants to see us to come to that point where we realize, hey, you know, we can't do it no more. So he can show out and show himself that ain't no one like him at all, and nobody can do the things that he can do. And it's just so amazing, and that's how he just turned miracles into miracles after miracles. So he's just amazing.
Hallelujah. I think so. I'm waiting on him. I want to meet him.
And you know the blood moon in July 27th, the article I sent you, Yaina, they were saying that's going to be the longest one in a century.
Wow. Signs in the sky. We ain't even get ready to see. Don't be surprised if you go outside one day and see an angel sitting up on the cloud and just sitting there. Don't be surprised. He said frightful things, and we're going to see some frightful things in the sky.
So is that blood moon has anything to do with that lunar eclipse that's coming?
I have no idea. I don't know.
Yes, it does. But they said it's going to be abnormally long. It ain't just going to come and go like the other one. They said it's going to stick around for a while. It's going to be the longest in the century.
So, I mean, you know, we got to get prepared for the things that we're going to see. And it's not going to shake us. I mean, it's going to shake you maybe when you've seen it because you ain't seen it before. But when you see those things, you just smile because you know your redemption draweth nigh. We on our way out of here. And, you know, the wilderness look real good out right now. But let me finish. It says suicide completed. EU will cut funds to patriotic countries who oppose Islamic migrations. Watch. Brussels is set to divert tens of billions of euro in EU cash away from patriotic Eastern and Central states under budget reform plans that would link funding to the bloc's value, which includes mass migrations. Top Brussels figures have repeatedly insisted that importing huge numbers of third world migrants must be a core feature of belonging to the bloc. So in order for you to get in, you got to let them come in. You got to open up your borders and let them come in. That's another thing he's not doing. It says, while German Chancellor Angela Merkel and French President Emmanuel Macron have both previously suggested the distribution of EU funds should be linked to number of asylum seekers.
Right.
Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker declared last year that the Union will be lost without a huge population transfer from Africa to Europe during an interview in which he hinted there are plans for two continents to merge in some way. Can you imagine two continents merge?
Yeah.
Continents.
And what might those two continents be?
Say again?
What might those two continents be?
They don't know. They say he hinted. There are plans for two continents to merge in some way.
Africa and Europe?
Possibility. It says
and they're going to merge at the block of Gibraltar.
Yep, it said the union will not be lost, but will break up into 10 divisions as recorded in Daniel chapter 7. And these are the groups. Here are the divisions right here. All these have been blocked off into 10 separate divisions. I had another one that was a little bit better than that one, and I'll try to show it to you next week because it's really hard to read these. This one right here because it's so small, but they're going to have a president for each division. Each division will have its own president. Okay, so now we're going to go to Daniel chapter 7, verse 24 through 28. It says, verse at 24, it says, and the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall arise after them. So that makes 11. And he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings. Now this is out of the European Union, which is out of the Roman Empire revived. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High. So that's what we saying. If you don't make the wilderness and you get stuck here, he going to wear you out. Some of them ain't going to make it. He's going to wear you out. Watch. And think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time, that's 1, and times, that's 2, and the dividing of times, that's how long is that, you guys? 3.5. 3.5 years. It says, but the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion to consume and to destroy it unto the end. And the kingdom and the dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. This is when we get into the millennial. The millennial cannot happen until all this happens first. That's why we can't jump to the 1,000 years, because we have to be able to see what's the next step, what's going to happen after this, so we know what we have to look for. He said, here too is the end of the matter. As for me, Daniel, my cogitations much troubled me, and my countenance changed in me, but I kept the matter in my heart. All right, now we're going to go to some scriptures, and we're going to finish it up real quick. It's not a whole lot. It says in Daniel chapter 2, verse 31 through 43, the prophet interpreted King Nebuchadnezzar's dream and prophesied a statue that represented 4 kingdoms that would rule Israel and most of the world with great power. So they were ruling over us. It says, Daniel chapter 2, verse 31, it says, thou, O king, sawest and behold a great image. This great image, whose brightness was excellent, stood before you, and the form thereof was terrible. This image's head was of fine gold, his breast and his arms of silver, his belly and his thighs were of brass, his legs of iron, his feet part of iron and of clay. Thou sawest till that a stone was cut out without hands, which smote the image upon his feet that were of iron and clay, and brake them into pieces. So when he smote, when he saw the rock come out of nowhere and hit the image on the feet, guess what he broke up? He broke up the revived Roman Empire. And from there, the whole structure fell down. Because all of those kingdoms, from Babylon all the way down to the feet, are all a part of the EU. He said, then was the iron, the clay, the brass, the silver, and the gold broken to pieces together and became like the chaff of the summer's threshing floor. So all of those nations are coming together into one kingdom, because when Nebuchadnezzar saw the dream and he had the image, they were individual kingdoms. The head of gold was Babylon. The arms and the chest was the Medes and the Persians. The hips and the thighs were Greece, and the legs were Rome. And then when you got down to the bottom, it was a mixture of all of them. So that means that they were all coming together to form one union. That's what he saw. He said, and the wind carried them away, that no place was found for them. And the stone that smote the image became a great mountain and filled the whole earth. He said, this is the dream, and we shall tell the interpretation thereof before the king. Thou, O king, art a king of kings. For the Elohim of heaven have given thee a kingdom, power and strength and glory. And wheresoever the children of men dwell, the beasts of the field, the fowl of heaven, have he given into thy hand, and have made thee ruler over them all. Thou art the head of gold. So we know Babylon was a world-ruling kingdom. It ruled the whole world. Watch, here we go. This is what it was. This is how he's seen it. This is the head of gold. These are the arms and the breast of silver, the chest of silver. This is Greece. These are Rome. These are the Roman empires, and those are the feet that's mixed with iron and clay. So here they go. There's the first kingdom represented the gold. That's Babylon. Second, the part of it was the Medes, which is Russia, and Persia, which is Iran. It says, and after thee shall arise another kingdom inferior to thee, and another third kingdom of brass, which shall bear rule over all the earth. That's when Greece came in. And here we got it. Here we got it again. Let me get back to the next one. I think we got another one. He said, and the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces, and subdue all things, and as iron that breaketh all these, shall it break in pieces and bruise. Same thing, statue. Here we go with the same statue. Here we go. He says, and whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided. But there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, for as much as thou saw the iron mixed with miry clay. And as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. And whereas thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men. But they shall not cleave to one another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. What does that say?
They're going to mix themselves up through the people, or you not recognize who they are.
Who is they?
The 10 angels. The 10 kings.
Ooh, everybody talking at one time. Somebody.
The seed of Satan or the giants?
They're right. The seed of Satan, the fallen angels, the hybrids, so to speak.
Yes.
And what? That's what he said. He said, and whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men. But they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay.
So is that saying that there's not going to ever be a one king ruler, right? Because in 44 it says that when God established his kingdom, there will be kings, not one king. So there will never be one king that's going to rule the world, but there will be kings at the time that God established his kingdom, right?
No. There's always been one king in these world kingdoms. In these here, Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar was the one king that ruled the world.
I know, but all I'm saying is in Daniel 2:44 it says, in the days of these kings,
right? That's the 10 toes.
Kingdom, right? So
yeah, those are the 10 toes.
So at the time that he returned, there's not going to be a one king ruler, but there'll be kings that will be ruling.
Well, not necessarily. Remember we talked about the 10 presidents or 10 kings of the divisions?
But they're all one group.
Right, it's one group, and it's going to be one man that's going to control the one group, but they're going to be like setting up divisions. Like you may have the eastern part over here, it's going to be 10 separate divisions, and each one of them, they may have like maybe 5 countries under each one. And there's going to be one president under that country.
Right.
And then you're going to have 10 sections like that.
Okay. I get it. Thanks.
And then they're going to report to that one man.
Okay.
Satan.
Exactly.
Hello?
Yes, we're here. We can hear you. We'd like to thank you so much for joining us this evening with our Sabbath Day class. We hope that you have enjoyed the teaching. We have more to come. Stay tuned for part 2, which will be featured this upcoming Sabbath. Don't forget that we have Bible classes every Thursday evening at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the phone number is 319-527-9197, and the access code is 256039. We truly hope that you have enjoyed the class, and we thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.